Hey, what's up, people? How you guys doing? Yeah, this is my first live stream. Yeah, I've never done a live before, so bear with me. Yeah, that laptop camera is a mess. Yeah, I'm a little bit nervous. I'm not gonna lie. So if you all hear me beg a little bit and speak a little broken English, then you know why. So what's up, people? How you guys doing? Um, so listen, people, the decisions you choose to make in your life today may or may not impact you for the rest of your life. I'm sure that some of you, the decisions you might have made some years ago is still having an impact on you this very day that I'm speaking. I mean, whether it be positive or negative, whether it's having a positive impact on your life or whether it's having a negative impact on your life, it all depends on the type of decisions you choose to make with your life. I mean, some of you maybe were not so obedient to your parents when you were growing up, and if you're young, some of you sometimes are not so obedient, and did things that is still having an impact on your life today. And maybe every time you see your mother, or every time you see your father, you remember the things that you have done, you know. Yes, I see I have a few people there on board. You all can share it live. Yeah, I have a little notes as to what I want to share with you guys tonight. And as I say, I'm a little nervous, but you know how it is. Just trying a live vibes for the first time. So as I was saying, and some of you women, you don't listen to your mothers when they told you to maybe leave men alone, and you ended up getting pregnant in high school, or something like that, or getting yourself in some trouble, and now you're still experiencing the consequences of it. And some of the guys, some of you fellas might have dropped out of school. Now it's a struggle for you to get a good job to probably feed the women that you're giving babies. The decisions that you choose to make with your life today, you know, will have some effect on you one way or another. You know, my little dog making some noise, troublesome little dog. Because the decisions that you made a few years ago, and you never know what it's doing to you today. If that come out right. And what you decide to do today will impact you tomorrow. And it's just naturally what you decide to do tomorrow will probably impact you later on in life. you know so my advice to you really today is, whenever whenever you decide to do something, or whatever it is that you decide to do, ponder hard on the things that you do before you basically do it, because it it might have an effect on you for the rest of your life. I mean, when I was at the age of 16 years old, I decided to accept Christ as my Lord and personal Savior in my life. And this has impacted my life, you know, to this very day. and I am sure that it will continue to impact my life, you know, and it's a decision that I don't think that I'll ever regret in my life. Yeah. So really and truly, I must say that this was one of the best decisions that I've ever decided to make. You know, because the result of it, Christ have been shaping me and molding me into the person that I am today, into the individual that I am today. And I don't really care what anybody say. I know that in spite of the bad decisions that I have made, you know, in spite of the wrong things that I've done, because I'm not perfect, you know, I too have made strange decisions in my life, you know. And basically whatever I've gone through, Christ have allowed me to go through it, you know. And I mean, yeah, you guys can choose to feel free to ask me any question that you want, and probably share the live. And at least let me know if I'm coming in clear. Just drop a number in the chat if I'm coming in clear. You know, maybe a number between 1 and 10. Yeah, so as I was saying, before you make a decision, ponder on the decisions that you make, you know. Ask yourself a question. You know, ask yourself, how will this impact my life? How will this influence my life? You know, how will this affect others? You know, how will this decision affect my family? How will this affect my relationships? Basically, the relationships we have with others, the relationships that we may have with God, if any of us even have a relationship with God, you know. Yeah. You know, I was talking to a partner of mine not too long ago, you know, and we were discussing different things. We were discussing money, you know, because sometimes I like to speak about money, you know, and how I like to encourage people to spend their money wisely and to do things like that. And we were discussing money, we were discussing making money, you know, and some things that, you know, and the things that people do with money. And I was saying that you need to be wise when it comes to deciding on what you're going to do with your money. You need to be wise. You need to be wise when it comes to using money. You know, and I believe that if it have one thing that we need to know, we need to make wise decisions on is when it comes to using money, you know. And one of the things I was telling to the partner is that when it comes to money, especially poor people tend to always make foolish decisions when it comes to money. You know, most poor people are not poor because of a lack of money, but because of a lack of knowledge about money and how money works. You know, sadly, most people are poor. I mean, really and truly, most people in Dominica are poor. You know, that's the sad news. Some of us see that we are middle class, but really and truly, we still have a poor mindset, which Yeah, we have a poor mindset nonetheless. So we were discussing on the things that people do with money. A lot of people, you know, you were saying the first thing that they do with money, or maybe when they start working, you know, they look to just buy something nice, like, you know, they just start working, they just start making money, and most of them, the first thing you see them go and do, they buy a ride. They buy a nice fancy transport to drive around. But really and truly, all the car is a depreciating asset. If you want to call it that, all it does is depreciate. So then the boy checking that boy, he telling me all now. So if he get a large sum of money, you know, if he get a big money now, he just buying a piece of land there. And now he's checking now all landers do is appreciate. You know, so I say, yeah, getting land is good. You know, and he's checking, yeah, boy, and boy, if I get 100 grand, no. Yeah, he was checking, well, he using 70 grand to buy a piece of land. You know, he put in 25 in the bank, and then he using 5 to buy a few little things for himself. and to hold the rest in his pocket. You know? Yeah, so I see Miracle Jade Illusionist there. Yeah, and I see DJ Ras Bling Entertainment Wago. You see Wago King. Yeah, so everything nice, man. If I get a large sum of money, I invest in to make more and pay off any debt. That's the idea. So that's basically something I trying to point at, really, in that discussion that I trying to have there on that live stream there. No. Yeah, I try not to be so long, you know. So as I was saying, as much as that might sound good to you, you know, to buy a piece of land, to save a portion, and to put a little bit in your pocket and to do little things, you know, that might sound good, you know, because with really and truly a piece of land good, it appreciates, you know, and you'll have just about a year's salary left in the bank, because a lot of people, they work for about 25 grand a year. so basically you save just about a year of work. So you can choose to not work for a whole year and have enough money to spend. But really and truly, where's the long-term reward of getting 100 grand? I mean, well, maybe at the end of the year, you know, maybe if things do work out so right, you can choose to maybe flip the land and sell it, and you might get a little extra $100 on your 70 grand that you bought it. You know, after you have already wasted your 25 grand that you put in the bank. You know, but and what again you can do? I guess you can probably decide to well, to maybe decide to use the land as farmland and see how we can and get some returns out of that. But then again, farming on a whole probably takes in a little bit more cash, and takes a little time to bring back the return. And if you just sell the land now, you basically you basically end up getting less than the 100K. You know. So then, and you started with 100K and you end up with something less. So it's kind of like senseless. But then, so where was I? So basically, I end up telling him, Aaron said, well, rent the land for a farmer to get rental income. Yeah, I mean, you can rent the land for a farmer, but when it comes to renting land, just bare land for farming, you don't really get much. More like most times they lease the land, and then they give you a little something at the end of the year. Or it depends on how you schedule the lease for, whether it be for 3 months, for 6 months, or for at the end of the year. And leasing a land, you doesn't really get back much income in leasing a land. And it'll take you, it will add up, but it will take a long time to add up. So yeah, you can lease the land, but and then some people might say, well, they will buy the piece of land and then they will look towards building, but then you basically, when you buy the piece of land and you remain 25 grand, it's gonna take you another long process to see how you can get another change to build to build on the property. You understand? And if you're not so smart, you might not be able to do it, not be able to do it. So build apartment for rent, real estate. Yeah. So that's basically what I get in at. So I tell him, well, if it's me that get 100 grand, right? I just thinking, well, 100 grand is 10% of $1 million. And most banks you require 10% for a loan. You require at least 10% in order for you to get that loan. So instead of I just go and use that instead of I just go and use that 100 grand and spend 70 grand of it, and I left with a little bit, and then that's it. You check, I would simply see how I can do my best to give that 100 grand. I just giving that 100 grand to a bank in exchange for 1 million. You check, so that's like a slightly better investment to me. To me, things will work out faster. So you check, yes, I have to pay back the bank, but then I have a lot more options to choose from with $1 million than just with the beer land and a 25 grand in the bank. So I can either choose to get into a rental real estate business, which is basically what I will do, and maybe just buy a rental property straight off and just start to rent it and let it generate income, let it pay back the bank on its own. I know eventually the bank will I know eventually the real estate will pay off itself eventually in the future, even if it takes 20, 30 years. I know it will pay off itself. Or I could choose to buy a piece of land, build at least I'm sure about $800,000 to $900,000 can build at least four apartment building for me on a piece of land. And I look to buy a piece of land in talking about purchase the land, the land, still plus buy it. And I look to buy a piece of land in a very good location. So a good location, most times maybe close to a town, close to Roseau. So maybe I'll spend, and not even a big piece of land, just a land suitable enough to just put down at least a 4-story, not a 4-story, but a 4-apartment building. A 4-apartment building, and rent it out. Build the 4-apartment building. I check in. I can probably, even if I spend 100 grand to buy the land, and I spend about 700 to 800 grand to build the 4-apartment building, I'm sure that can do that for me. I'll still remain 100 grand, which I can just decide to just save in my bank account. That same 100 grand that I give the bank. I don't know if it can work out really like that, but you have to be smart. You have to make sure that you calculate all your funds and do everything. Yeah. Yeah, man. I'm sure that can happen. So that's it. That's what I was discussing with the partner of mine. I just give him a better idea. If I get 100 grand, I give him 100 grand to the bank, and in exchange to $1 million. Yeah. and I get into a rental real estate business. And the thing is, you just have to be smart. You have to just make sure that you calculate all your bills, all your expenses, your loan, you know, in such a way that you rent out the apartments in such a way that it can pay off all your bills, still be able to put some maintenance cash aside, because in a few years down the line you might have to maintain the structure. So you'll be able to put some cash aside, even if it's $100 to $200 a month that you get from your rental income. So that is how we have to try, and that is how we have to calculate it. You have to make sure that based on the rent that you're going to acquire, whether it be from each 4 apartments, and to make sure that you include taxes, and to make sure that you include your loan that you're paying, and to make sure that you include a cost for maintenance and all your other little bills. And you also want to see that at least you get in some money in your pocket, even if it's between $10 and $25 to begin with, that you get in, but at least you get in something to begin with. You know that in a few years down the line, that most of your loan will be paid off, and at that point, at that time, you have a larger net worth, so that you can even go and take another loan to develop another business that would add to that $25, or whether it be $100 that you choose to get. So you just have to play your cards right and be smart. So basically, at the end of the day, what I'm really trying to say is that when it comes to making decisions, based on the decision that you choose to make today, it's going to impact you for the rest of your life. And it can impact you, whether it impact you positively or whether it impact you negatively. So you have to be smart, especially when it comes to the decision of using your money wisely. And as I say, a lot of poor people, the reason they're poor is not because they don't have money, it's because they do not know how to spend their money. Yeah, and I think I'll stop there because I suspect I speaking a little too long, So I want to thank you guys for tuning into the live. That's my first live, so I'm a little nervous, and yeah, I didn't know it was gonna come out. I know the video quality is not so great because I'm using my laptop. It's just the camera on my laptop. But yeah, so this has been Young and Uprising. My name is Lawrence Jerome, and if I more than likely everybody that's there is already subscribed to my channel. Yeah. Yeah, thank you guys for the little comments and staying tuned in. Yeah, and of course, if you have not subscribed, subscribe. I suspect I might save that live because I don't think I have anything. Yeah, check out my background. Don't worry about my background. Yeah. Yeah, we were recently celebrating a birthday party for a cousin of mine. He just got his 18th birthday. So we recently celebrating a birthday party, and Dominicans like to celebrate. Yeah, if you missed my last video, I was talking about that, so you guys can check that out. Dominicans like to celebrate. But anyway, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys on the next video, on the next live stream. Yeah, I just checking. Let me just try out the live stream, and see how it come out. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. You can leave a message there. If you have any questions, let me know. Yeah, so that's about it. I suspect I might try and save that video. Peace out, people.